Hi there, viewer. How are you doing today? Welcome to the New Moon in Gemini reading, and this is for New Moon in Gemini on the 6th of June. And we've got the Sun in Gemini and the New Moon in Gemini. So this is about the balancing of the Sun and the Moon and the coming together of the Sun energy and the Moon energy. And the Sun is where we shine and it's where we are our brightest. It's quite often where the energy where our close relationships, the people that know us for a long time or get to know us really well, they start to see us really in our sun sign energy. When we first meet people, they tend to see or experience the ascendant energy or the rising sign energy. And with the moon energy, this is about our emotions, our subconscious going inward. This is about having everything that is kind of unseen, this energy, but it's the balancing of both. But it's predominantly about new cycles, fresh starts, new things coming in, inviting new things, working on new things, taking a new path forward in a lot of respects. So I'm going to speak a little bit about the Gemini energy and then get into the reading, but I will timestamp the start of the reading so you can just click on that timestamp if you'd prefer just to jump straight into the reading. So this new moon in Gemini we've got a lot of Gemini energy. So it's surrounding predominantly the Gemini influence we have in the collective and where Gemini might influence you personally in your own natal chart and your own transitions and progressions. We've got the Sun in Gemini, New Moon in Gemini. So the moon transitions into Gemini new on the 6th, and it's 16 degrees. So it's like in the middle of the Gemini energy, just shy of the middle of the Gemini energy, which would have been 15 degrees. So it's the progression of Gemini energy. It's kind of when we start to really understand the influence of communications, level of intellect, and like the academic knowledge. It's all about uh, just communication with other people, communication with our own thoughts, how we use intelligence and how we absorb information. It's to do with social media as well. So we have Mercury in Gemini. Well, Mercury goes into Gemini on the 3rd of June, so freshly into the Gemini energy. We also have Venus in Gemini and Jupiter in Gemini. So, and Venus and the new moon is conjunct. So everything works in conjunction on the 6th, and that just amplifies the energy of the moon, of the sun, and of Venus, and of other aspects as well. So it could be impacting our relationships, what we find kind of pleasurable, what we find beautiful, our romantic relationships as well. It could be our creativity, our creative spark, something new coming in terms of our creative energy, perhaps, depending again on your situation and how the energy is going to be resonating for you. But we'll have a look at deep levels of this and see what kind of things are coming your way. But it's going to be in response to something in the mind space, in the mental space. Could be impacting social media, what we learn from social media, how we interact, how we are presenting on social media, information we hear on social media, or email, blogs, the internet, because that's all relatively connected to Mercury and the Gemini energy. And this is all about truth in knowledge. It's about the truth in knowledge that sets you free on a mind level, on the level of intellect, especially when it comes to academics. It's a really good time to analyze how we're thinking, how our thought processes, any conditioned patterns, the freedom of thinking that we have, how we perceive our own thinking. And it's really all about new ways with the new moon. And it could impact. So Gemini rules our third house. So whatever energy you have in the third house is underpinned by Gemini energy and Mercury energy. And we have the impact of sibling relationships, if that applies to you. It could be short journeys. This could be very close relationships in your close environment. So neighbors, this could be people you work with, people that you see on commutes, this could be people that you interact with in the supermarket on a daily or weekly basis. But these are kind of short and frequent interactions, quite often outside of the home and then inside of the home, like siblings. This could be anything coming back from kind of early childhood, early education coming back in, and there's a big theme about education. It's all new ways about thinking about the things like this, about how we communicate perhaps in these situations or to do with these situations. It's a very strong time to be mindful of the power in words, in the power of thoughts. And there can be an overwhelm of information, there can be an overwhelm of thoughts, there can be lots of overthinking that happens here, with this, particularly with this new moon. But there is a like a 6 month cycle. So 6 months ago we had the full moon in Gemini, we've got the new moon in Gemini. In 6 months time in Sagittarius season we've got the full moon in Gemini. So it's running on this 6 month cycle. So it's thinking about what you were wishing, what your hopes and dreams were, or what your kind of mental state was 6 months ago, and thinking about the next 6 months. And that's kind of where we want to be focusing with this new moon, the energy that we are bringing in for the next 6 months, this Gemini cycle, because we all have the energies, obviously, of the zodiac in different degrees and different aspects of our chart. So it's really focusing this time around with the mind, with knowledge, communication, thoughts, and social media as well, can be very important. There can be a bit of a paranoid energy with this new moon because of the link and the strength of the mind, the thoughts, how we communicate. There can be some miscommunication that happens over this period as well, similar to Mercury being in retrograde. It kind of pairs with that energy, but Mercury is actually direct at the moment, but it's the Gemini Mercury energy that's really at home together, that gives us power to have breakthroughs in these areas. We do have some aspects with Saturn, Pluto impacting how this all plays out as well this week. And Saturn's all about the teacher, it's time, it's karma, it's lessons. And there is a time here as well that we might be asked to listen, or to listen to the calmness of something, to not be too overactive in the mind. There's transformation of thoughts that can happen here with Pluto in the mix. There's like a discipline of thinking, discipline of thoughts, a discipline to change habits that aren't serving us. That could be coming up this week. There can be sometimes pressure, tension in some ways with relationships, and how we're speaking, being understood, being misunderstood, understanding others, misunderstanding others, particularly in those close relationships. So siblings, people in the home, perhaps, but more siblings, more people that you run into on a daily basis, or just things that you might hear on the radio, on the TV. Just the way that we absorb information is being looked at very closely right now. So we're going to have a look at the different levels of this and how this might be impacting you, and have a little look at what's coming towards you and anything that kind of might need breaking in terms of the mental, or might need awareness over these next few weeks. So with the new moon energy, we're looking at a really strong energy kind of 3 days leading up to, 3 days leading up after the new moon. So from the 3rd to the 9th, there's a period of this where this energy is very heightened, but the cycle is really a 6 month cycle. So let's have a look and see the energy that Spirit want us to be aware of that's surrounding this new moon for you, viewer. Let's have a look. Okay. With Jupiter being in, I forgot to say this earlier, with Jupiter being in Gemini now as well, just, I think, very end of May, 23rd, 24th, 25th of May, I think. Can't remember the specific date. But with Jupiter being in Gemini, this is about the expansion of the mind, but also largely with the collective thinking. So let's have a look at what Spirit want us to know. A personal issue reaches resolution, full moon in Cancer. The moon goes into Cancer, obviously straight after Gemini, because Cancer's after Gemini. This feels like anything that has been, any misunderstanding that happens during the next few days, or through this moon phase, any miscommunication, any misunderstanding, any kind of tension, pressures in those relationships, very soon after the new moon, it reaches a resolution. It's like people can understand each other more. It's like this step back, think about what happened, and then come back in and say something perhaps in a calmer way. A time to give rather than take, new moon in Virgo. So this is about contribution to conversation, contribution to, if you're involved in any kind of, perhaps online but offline as well, any groups where you contribute information, or you are collectively bringing something together with knowledge or research, that this could be a very fulfilling time for you. Adjustments are required, 3rd quarter moon. So thinking about the path that we're on and thinking about what might need adjusting. This feels, because of the Gemini new moon influence, it could be in the mind space. So what adjustments in the mind space, and we will have a look at that, are needed right now. Look at the bigger picture. Full moon in Sagittarius. We just had the full moon in Sagittarius, which was an incredibly powerful full moon. The full moon in Sagittarius as well was powerful on a lot of levels, but it was the spiritual warrior, spiritual seeker, the seeker of light, the seeker of truth above all else, the seeker of truth, with this Gemini, with the Sagittarius. And we've got the pairing, the new moon in Gemini, full moon in Sagittarius, and the opposite. Those are the pairs. So there's something to do with the seeker of truth. This could be to do with conscious media. For some, perhaps it's time to release negativity. Full moon in Scorpio. So what is appearing negative in their mind, particularly in the mind space? What's appearing negative? What kind of negative thought patterns are coming up? What repetitive thought patterns are coming up where we can release? Where is the invitation to release perhaps judgment thinking, thinking, perfectionist thinking, where we are like this self-fulfilling cycle of not being good enough? There's a worthlessness feeling I'm feeling here. Emotions are running high, super moon. This feels like communication, somehow communication with someone close to you. There's a misunderstanding, or there could be just not feeling understood by somebody, and there's a frustration here. Doesn't feel like a major event, but it feels like there could be some kind of tension, some frustration, and that's why then emotions are running high. A fiery climax approaches. Full moon in Aries. We've got a lot of full moons here. 1, 2, 3, 4 full moons, and the super moon 5. Okay, so we're coming to the end of something. This could be something happening with friends, family, or close people that are close to us, perhaps at work, in a work situation as well, where there's been communication building slowly over the last few months, perhaps, and that reaches a resolution. It reaches like the height of it, and then it starts to dissolve, and there's space to listen, there's space to understand, there's space to express, and space to rethink and restructure our thought processes and how we get from kind of A to Z within our own minds, but also how we communicate that out with other people. Okay, let's have a look and see on a journey level, what kind of energies are we dealing with? So where are we at? Where are we going? Okay, we've got the spider and the dolphin. I feel like we have been structured in very structured in how we have created our life, our routines. There's familiarity, there's something where, or we desire this, and we are there's a determination, there's been hard work, there has been an understanding of the impact of things. So a knock-on effect, we know if we do one thing, it will reverberate somewhere else, and it's like this conscious awareness of what we're doing to make sure that we go in the direction that we want to go in. And I feel like spirit here is saying, there's time for play now. So where you've been working really hard, where you've been working very methodically, it's now time for play. It's time to, if you've been in a bubble, if you've been in your own world, if you've been working on your own thing for a while, there's 100% value in that, and it feels like that is very strong. But it's now time for some play. It's now time to invite in some sense of adventure, a sense of um community into something you're doing. Perhaps it's just sharing what you've been working on. Perhaps it's having a look at who can help you through this, something that you're building, you're working on, you're working towards. This feels like a passion project, something personal. It doesn't have to be a project or a work thing. This could be changing habits, this could be changing diet, this could be exercise, this could be nutrition, cooking, vitamins, this could be learning something new, new experiences, anything. But there's a sense of play that we're being invited to bring in and call in at this new moon period. Okay, let's see what's happening on your pathway, viewer. Okay, where are we? Oops, there we go. Thank you. Oh, wow. Ride the wave. This is not being restrictive anymore. So where we've already built our net, we've built security, we've built something that has a knock-on effect. There's the spider's web can be is extremely methodical. It catches, it brings in, it protects, it's a whole system, it's a network, and it's very controlled. There is there's a lot of things, and most things we can't control, and I feel like spirit's saying ride the wave of this, of what you're, the feelings that you're having at the moment. Ride the wave of these, ride the wave of something that comes in that feels like it's just thrown everything up a little bit, but also ride the wave of any joy that you're feeling. Ride, it's like you're getting to the top of the wave now, and you can just enjoy being there, you can enjoy the moment, but it's all about being with others, it's about having connection with others, about having play with others. Rock bottom. You are either at rock bottom and it's riding the wave of that, or you've come from rock bottom, because this is current energy. So there's an acknowledgement of what rock bottom feels like, and it could be that, that there's a remembering of that, or there is an experience of that right now. But this is a time to plant the seeds for something new to grow. Okay. Okay. Do you let us know what's up ahead, please, Spirit? What's up ahead? So let's have a look at the energy up ahead that you can step into and that could be on your pathway, that could cross you. What's the up ahead energy? Movement, yeah. If you have been very stuck with something, it could be in a relationship as well, in any kind of relationship, yeah. So we've got mountain, immovable. So there is something that has felt immovable. You're going to get movement to help you navigate this. You're going to get movement to navigate the situation. This is about navigation. This is about the mode in which you're getting from A to B. What's the options? Let's have a look at your options here. You're going to, whatever challenge is happening right now, we've got storm fields. They will pass. It will pass. This storm will pass. Okay. It's already hit something. I feel like is already hit, or you're aware of it hitting. Something that you know you're going to have to deal with. Okay, this is it will pass. You will be okay. Okay, you will. We've got a bonus one here. You will be okay. The reason I'm saying that, you've built solid foundations with something. You've already built foundations. It's just, it's not going to go as straightforward as you thought that it might. There's an adjustment that we need to make. That, or there's an adjustment within a relationship or a connection that needs to be made in order for this to move forward. So we've got gentle gardener and education. So I'm not surprised to see the education with the Gemini energy, because it's all about knowledge and education. That particularly with Gemini energy, it's the like early education. With the Sagittarius energy, ninth house energy, it's about higher education. So something in education might resonate for you, but there's a gentleness, there's a gentility that's being asked here. So instead of trying to knock the mountain down, there's a patience that's being asked, because there is movement forward in very tiny steps is still movement forward, and there's a gentleness that's being asked, and a knowledge that's being asked. So what kind of, where could we be, where do we need to learn, what do we need to research, what kind of information do we need to find, do we need to ask for, what's happening on that level, on our knowledge level. I'm going to just have a look at the mental space here. So with this new moon, it's all about knowledge, mental space. With the air, with the element of air, it's all about the mind. Am I consistently showing up? So wherever this energy is resonating for you, Okay, there's something that there's also, I feel like something for some of you, not all of you, but for some of you, something that you want to walk away from and you're not quite sure. You kind of like half in, half out, one foot out of the door with something. Anything else, headspace for the viewer? How does my body want to move today? I'm going to flip these rounds in a second. I just feel to keep shuffling. This one wants to come. Okay, there we go. We have, am I willing? So, what is being asked of you by yourself or by others, where you really want to be conscious that you're going to make a decision to move forward because you want to? Are you willing to go past this mountain? Is this a battle that you want to go into? Is this something that you want to build? Is this storm something you're totally okay to go into because you know that it's going to take you to where you want to go? Or do you want to ride the wave in a different way, in a different direction? Because I feel like there's choices here. What can I do to make a difference? For a lot of you, this feels like it's in close relationships. This could be in romantic relationships or close family relationships. How does my body want to move today? So this is, I feel like the choice is like listening. If you feel like you have to get up and do something physically that you don't want to do, this is spirit being very being very uh, getting us to be very aware about those things that we're doing that we don't want to do. This type of energy with this new moon will highlight those things. Am I consistently showing up? I feel like this is as well. What do we? What do you want to show up for? What do you want to not show up for, and then be fully not show up for it? Because it's like if you've got one foot in the door, one foot out the door, you're neither here nor there, and you're kind of spreading your energy in two different places instead of focusing on where you want to be focused on. Wherever it is you want to go, there is like a challenge or something where you have to overcome or be patient, and that could feel uncomfortable. But with this new moon energy, I always feel with the moon cycles, the new moon energy is at the bottom of the mountain, and we are working at something, working at something. The full moon is the top of the mountain. We've achieved something, we've taken the steps to progress, we've given birth to something new, and we've started on this new journey, and we've worked really hard. And then there's after the new moon, after the full moon, it's this release, and it's the other side of the mountain. So we're coming down the other side where we're releasing, we're allowing flow to come in a little bit more. So that's where this kind of like allowing the methodical side of what we're doing, allowing the connectiveness of what we're doing to still be conscious, but be able to play with that as well, not being restricted or too fixed in how something is happening or how it manifests. I feel that's very important. Okay, let's have a look at where are we going now, Spirit? Area of life. So let's have a look at what areas of life in particular this might be affecting you. Okay, let's have a look at current energy and pathway energy. So current energy, where might this be affecting you, viewer? Or what does spirit want you to know about this energy? We had a flip there, didn't we? Okay. We've got square, semi-square, quincunx, and that's tension. And we've got Venus beloved. Yes. Yes. So this makes sense. So Venus is currently in Gemini, and it's very close with this new moon as well. So there could be tension in relationships. There could be tension with your own creative expression. There could be tension in romantic relationships with Venus being at play here, with the new moon and with the sun. And it could be tension in this area with something that you love, that you create, or something you feel passionate about. There could be tension here, but the tension is, and with this type of aspect, it's like, do you know the pressure cooker tension where you feel like you're going to burst? It could be that. And this new moon being very linked very closely with communication and with listening, it could be understanding what dissolves that type of tension and riding the wave of feeling the tension rather than pushing the tension down or rejecting a situation because it comes with tension. It's about finding a way through that where you feel willing to go through that, perhaps you feel and expressing what you're willing to do. So it could be, I'm willing to talk later, I'm not willing to talk now because of these reasons. Because you may be sitting with tension, maybe you need to sit with tension yourself, and maybe you need to sit with that tension with your beloved. Okay, let's look at let's look at the cause of this tension. What's the cause of this tension and with this energy? What's the underpinning core cause? Nurture. Okay. So this is to do with how we're nurturing ourselves, the relationship, and with others. So where is nurturing and where is being in self-care, but particularly nurturing aspects of relationships and with self, where is that coming into play? Is that being, is there something being overly nurtured? Is there something being underly nurtured? Is there something that calls for being nurtured in a different way? This could be, this is how we look after, this is how we take care. And where is that playing a part? This could be children in a relationship that's causing tension with something to do with perhaps children or siblings causing tension in a relationship in some way. For some of you, that won't resonate for everybody. No, okay, okay. 10th house authority. So it could be, this could be to do with your career. This could be to do with something, career or career pathway, or something that one or both people in a relationship or what you're doing in the public realm, your public identity, what you do for work and career, perhaps what you're striving for, how is that impacting your nurture? So is there something in this new moon where you can invite in more time to nurture, particularly the mind? It could be the relationship, it could be the connection, the mental connection between you and another, or you and what you're working on. Is there something in terms of the mental nurture that we can be looking at? Something in terms of our pleasure nurture that we can be looking at, our creative, with this 10th house energy. We've got mountains here and we've got the mountain here as well. There is going to new heights. That's what I'm hearing from spirit. Okay, what's the advice and outcome? Let's get advice and outcome for you here as well. Advice and outcome, please, spirit. Rebirth, Pluto. So we do have, we've got Pluto and Saturn at play here. So Pluto is an energy where there's no questions asked, there's no consideration given, it just does, and it will just. Oh, okay, we've got 8th house. You might have 8th house in Pluto. You might have Pluto in the 8th house. Um, but with the Pluto energy, Pluto currently in Aquarius, so there's a there's a destruction and a rebirth, a rebuild. There is a dissolving and a reigniting of something that is happening within a connection within your life in some way. But this is where we're riding the wave, and this is where the storm will pass. So the storm causes a lot of destruction as it goes through, but it goes through and it doesn't come back. That same storm doesn't come back in the same way. It's the the deconstruction of something to rebuild something better, and Pluto is the master of that energy. So what is being asked to be rebirthed here? Are we thinking about things in a way that is not productive, not conducive to moving forward and evolving in some way, particularly with creative or relationship, or with something you're learning about career, with the 10th house energy here? And we've got 8th house mystery. So sometimes life is a mystery. Sometimes there's mystery that happens. There could be a curiosity about the mystic arts, about something to do with the mystery of life, the mystery of energy. Because this is connected to the new moon in Gemini, this could be mystery teachings of some kind, mystery schools, perhaps for some of you as well, and the desire to move towards that. And there's a rebirth of self happening through the exploration of that. Okay, let's have a look at what's hidden underneath the surface here, because um, we have a lot going on here for you. There's a complexity in terms of the mind and the the communication with yourself, your mind, and how you express your feeling, your emotion, your thoughts to somebody else. And that doesn't have to be in a relationship. It's just something the way that you are expressing outward, uh, what it is that you desire. There could be an uncertainty in that right now. We've got hope, yeah, hopeless, sinking despair, falling apart. Oh, yeah, I thought we might have had another one. I was closing my eyes as I was shuffling these, and I didn't realize we had another one. Let me make sure I don't have another one. No, I think that it was just one. I could feel it with my hands. So we've got hopeless, sinking despair, falling apart. There is like a hopelessness. The hopelessness is this feeling of control. So we feel hopeless when we're trying to control something, and this mountain is in our way, and this storm comes, because those are things we cannot control. And I feel like this is spirit saying there is a hopelessness feeling, but there's a surrender to this hopelessness feeling with this ride the wave, with the dolphin energy that's coming up. And there is a community aspect here. There's a community aspect in terms of tapping into our emotions. There's a expression of emotion. There's an expression of what we want to bring into fruition in the physical, perhaps for some of you. And we've got releasing, letting go, moving on, and walking away. There is something you want to walk away from: behavior, thought pattern, situation. There's something you're thinking about walking away from, but I do feel like there's one foot in, one foot out, like halfway out the door. What else do we need to know about what might be just lurking underneath the surface here? Okay. We've got twin flames, mirroring shared feelings and reflection. That could be where this tension's coming in. This feels like, if this doesn't resonate, if this isn't to do with a romantic relationship for you, or energy of a romantic relationship, whether you're in partnership or in separation, there is an if you don't resonate with that energy, don't take this part, because I feel like this is very specific to do with the tension in the Venus, which is like, I mean, that just makes sense, right? So there is this tension, is this mirroring. It's the tension is literally like, I want to burst, I'm about to pop. It's that you feel like you could go to the top of the mountain and scream, and that's the only way to release some of the tension, and even then it wouldn't completely go. Let's get one more that's outside of this. What else do we need to be aware of for the viewer this week that's outside of this relationship? Chemistry, attract, spark, and passion. So this is the creative energy. So this frustration in this Venus, this frustration in the Venus energy. So this Venus energy invites in this chemistry, this pleasure, this desire, this creation of something. And that's where this chemistry, this alchemy kind of comes together. I'm getting magician energy through here as well, like magician and high priestess energy. Uh, there's there's chemistry, and this could be in a relationship. It doesn't have to be that, but there's a spark coming. But that's why we need to ride that. I feel like that's why we need to ride the wave this week, because that spark isn't going to happen while we're in any kind of control. That spark only gets ignited when the conditions are perfect, but those conditions require us to be in surrender. Let's have a look at the tarot and see what we might need to know about this pathway, because there's like something new that you want happening. You want to happen. There's like a staleness energy that you're getting rid of, that's cycling out. Six of Wands. Yes. Yeah, it is cycling out. Anything that you feel that is really stale, that has a lot of tension associated with it, where there's miscommunication, it will resolve. Okay. And you'll have I feel like you'll have a victory when it comes to relationships with other people, but also a victory in self. Like, you'll have a breakthrough. There's a mental breakthrough happening, like how you think about something, how you feel about something. Yeah. We've got the Six of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles. There's a new start coming in the physical. Okay, it's like you're done with one cycle of your own learning journey, and something new is given. For some of you, this could be somebody helping you on your way to achieve something. This could be somebody giving you the opportunity, opening. For some of you, what I'm seeing from spirit visually is the closing of a door and opening another door, but you are opening one door, and for others of you, there's somebody opening the door for you. But this is to walk away from something or towards something, but it's inadvertently the same, because when we're walking away from something, we're walking towards something else, and when we're walking towards something, we're walking away from something else. What do we need to know about this half in, half out situation? Whatever's half in, half out for you right now. Yeah, Four of Swords, Eight of Pentacles. I feel like you're not getting anywhere. You feel like you're not getting anywhere. You have tried everything you could possibly try, and you're not getting anywhere. There is some, and you have worked hard for this. I just want to get clarity on this. I feel like spirit want you to keep going. If this is to do with like a work situation, passion project, side hustle, learning something like education, if you've signed up to a course, or if you're learning something, or if you're in education at the moment, it's like keep going. Just keep, like, at least reflect on what it is that you have learned, where you've got to, because there is like some battle scars, but you're not knocked over. Nobody's knocked you over yet, because you've been really strong and you've followed something that you've got like a desire and a fire in you. This spark, this is where this kind of like spark comes in. This chemistry spark comes in. You've had this spark, this kind of the wands energy, which is our fire energy, our desire. Could be to do with travel as well, traveling, or some kind of commute situation, and different in commute, different work location. For some, that's not going to resonate for everybody. Different location of where you're traveling to quite frequently, with education, perhaps, if that's going to be something you're thinking about doing, or something that you sign up to. Yeah, you feel like you're not getting anywhere. Be protective of your energy. I feel like for some of you, you might just need this bit of nurture to have the energy to move forward. There's something that needs adjusting. So instead of going linear, you just take a bit of a detour, because you pick so many things up along the way. But there's a slight change in direction, and the direction feels how you're getting something done, or how you're doing something. Okay, let's have a look at the energy that you're stepping into as you do this. We've got the Two of Swords and the Five of Wands. If you have, if you, so I feel like, if where there's tension, where there might be tension, or where there might be kind of crosswords, where there might be any kind of competition, where there might be a feeling of just busyness, but in a very panicked way, in a very fear-based way, I feel like spirit is saying, step back and allow people to rant and rave, not at you, but just like if they need to express themselves, before you interject. For others of you, this is not allowing somebody else's energy to impact your direction forward. Okay, just want to get one more on this for you. Oops. Yeah, choice. Okay, we've got Six of Pentacles and Two of Pentacles. There's something coming into fruition for you, really positively. This is you. This is you and somebody else helping each other. There's a cycle of care and nurture here, and this is the choice, and how you're balancing everything. This is also the choice between two things. For some of you, where you've got your foot in and out of the door, there's going to be, you're either going to balance things that feel out of balance at the moment, or you'll make a choice between one of two things. This could be appearing anywhere in your life, viewer. Could be in a relationship, could be in if you're deciding between two different types of courses, if you're looking into some education. Okay, let's get some advice about the longer term pathway. So what does all of this have to do with our longer term pathway for the viewer, please, Spirit? Oops, okay. We've got Stargate of Lyria. Expand your causal chakra. Enter the unicorn kingdom. This is, there's a disconnect between mental and inner wisdom here, I feel, or there's a desire to go either fully in knowledge or nothing. There's a disbalance between in the mental in terms of educational learning or knowledge or having all of the information in some way here. And what Spirit's saying is there's a bridge between the mental and the inner wisdom. It's this inner essence, this inner light aspect that comes like crown chakra and in that comes that then informs everything that comes in from above and just ignites our spark, ignites our heart space, ignites our sacral chakra, our root chakra. There's an ignition. There's an igniting, if I can get that word out, of a whole bunch of different things. There's a domino effect happening here. But there's an opening that's needed, like a surrender that's needed. There's an opening of allowing spirit in, allowing other information in. Okay. Okay, let's see what else. What else do we need to know? That's where this adjustments are required is coming in, because I feel like there's a piece of information that's missing that you can only find if there's a slight adjustment. Like you learn something new that resets everything in a fresh way, but it's very positive. And we've got cosmic rainbow. Look for the pot of gold, accept joy. Yeah, this is the surrender. There's also, you're going towards something that feels very rejuvenating, that feels very refreshing, that feels very prosperous. I feel like this is spirit saying keep going. So where there might be tension, where there might be a change in what you want to be doing, in what you want to be focusing on, what you want to be doing for work perhaps, or career, the kind of relationship you want to be in, or how you want current relationships to support you or to kind of meet you and your energy where you're at. There's a shift happening here. Okay, let's have a look at activation, because there is something very deep happening. Yeah. Let's have a look at activation. What's happening on this longer term pathway? Sorry, I think that was me. What's happening on this longer term pathway for the viewer, please, Spirit? One more, I think. There we go. I feel like there's a big decision that you want to make, and then you're going to make it, and you're going to. Do you know when you think that something's really like a big decision, and you make it, and you think about it afterwards, and you're like, do you know what? Actually, it was so obvious that wasn't a big decision at all. It kind of feels like that, but it's never going to not feel like a big decision until you're on the other side of the decision. We've got cleansing, releasing the old, energetic tune up, and new beginnings. Yes. There's an this is where this Stargate comes in. So there's the releasing the old, because it's like there's a stuckness of energy that has happened with this old tension, with this old something from the past, and but we're releasing the old with this new moon. For a lot of you, where we were talking about the doors, I feel like you're walking into something new which helps you inadvertently release the old and move away from the old and cleanse the old. Rather than focusing on cleansing the old, it's about focusing on the new, which automatically places your attention in the new rather than stay in the old in any kind of stuckness, because it's like there's no way forward on the map, but spirit know the way forward for you. Okay, let's see what else we've got here for you. We have Birth mysteries. What are you being called to create? Yeah. What is it that you're being called to do with this chemistry energy, with this releasing energy? And there's this aspect of surrender here. What are you being called to create? What does that look like for you personally? What's your journey of creation? What does that look like? What do you need? Uh, what information do you have that you can piece together? This is going to become clear, I feel, very soon. And we've got king tide, plenty, prosperity, receiving fullness of life. Yes, it will become clear. It will become clear, but it's going to, whatever it is you decide to do, whichever way you decide to go, when you make the decision to put both feet on one side of the fence, on one side of the door, things will start falling into place. It's kind of like the universe is confused about what you're asking for and what you want because you're not quite sure yourself. And oops, sorry, I just knocked the table there. And spirit are bringing in energy this week to help you with clarity on moving forward. Let's have a look at pathway. Let's see what's when you've made this decision, when this new door opens, or when this new energy, you feel the wave of this new energy. What's the pathway? What are your choices, and what's the energy on your pathway for the viewer, please, Spirit? Thank you. We have breaking trail. A breakthrough is at hand. Exactly. A breakthrough is at hand. Okay, you're still moving forward, reaching your destination. Your light is shining brightly. You will get to where you want to go. If there's any doubt, especially if there's any paranoia, be be aware that there's that energy is in the collective. If there's any type of element of like gossip or judgment that might sound like, oh, I wouldn't do that if I was you. Oh, you don't want to go to do that course because of these reasons. You don't want to do this. That's a bad idea. If there's anything like that, take time away from that type of energy, especially over the next few days. Miracles, expect the wondrous to emerge. You can't see it coming. Whatever is coming, whatever pathway is going to light up for you, and it will, you can't see it coming just yet. Do you know what? I feel like because there's something about your pathway where you need the surrender element before the pathway becomes clear, which is always the way, and it's always the scariest moment. But it happens. Taking shelter, the answers are within. Yep, so there could be a stepping back and just considering, just looking at where everything is, looking at where you feel safe, where you feel rooted, where you feel like you can express and explore what these options might be. I want to get one more for you. Valiant courage, take action with passion. Yeah, there's something here all about moving towards passion, about something that you desire, having the courage to step into this surrender, moving away from what you perceive as security and into something that is more playful, but that is also more based in your own intelligence, your own inner wisdom. It's bringing that into what you want to create. It's bringing in the courage of your own pathway forward, but also it's to do with the community around you. It's to do with the who you have around you and having the right energy around you for this new pathway in particular. Okay, let's take a look at the energy that spirit are encouraging you to work with through this new moon. What energy should the viewer be leaning into through this pathway, please, spirit? Thank you. Oh, okay. We've got the medicine, the medicine wheel and earth. Being very aware, mindful, and conscious of your physical possessions, of the earth around you, of this could be to do with environment as well, or your immediate community, something happening within your immediate like physical environment. But there is the healing that you need to do. I feel like for this next step, you've already done it. There's a completion on this. And it's like the next step will open up different areas, but for this phase of life, for whatever's happening now, you've learned what you need to learn, and now it's time for the next step. but something very much coming into the physical for you. Okay, let's see if there's anything else here. We've got the hummingbird and the moon. Okay, this is about cycles. So it's there's different phases of the moon. There's different cycles. Everything in life has a cycle. And you're at this new moon phase, but next week it will be a different cycle. Also, have a look at your birth chart, your natal birth chart cycle where the moon was, because if it was in new moon or near new moon, you might be feeling this extra strong at this period. But the hummingbird is all about being resourceful. It's about knowing when to move. It's about being resourceful. It's also about being protective. So there's a similar with the spider energy as well. It's knowing when to move and when to fly away. The hummingbird knows when to move away for the summer, knows when to come back for the winter, when to step out. Also knows the resourcefulness and picking up everything it needs along the way, trusting that it will know the journey without needing the map. Okay, and there's an element of that in here, and that's this valiant courage, this bravery that's coming through, and just trusting that the cycle will come. You'll have a cycle. There will be cycles that come and go, but you're self-sufficient. Exactly, and you've learned everything you needed to learn on this pathway with this step. Okay. Right, I'm going to put these here. That feels very, very strong. It's time to spread your wings with something. And that's to move towards something, that's to walk away from something, that's to uh, maybe spread your wings so that you are the feeling of freedom. There's a freedom in knowledge as well. There's the truth in knowledge, and the truth and the knowledge that will set you free that's coming through with this hummingbird too. Okay, where are we going now, Spirit? Let's have a look at just some messages of guidance before we close up the reading. So let's get some messages of guidance from Spirit for you, viewer. This feels very deep for a lot of you, like very deep. Considered something you've been sitting with for a while, feelings that have been stirring for a while, and it's coming to the opportunity to step into that or to create something new here. I create loving action which sets my soul free as I grow with gratitude. Yes, it is about action forward, and this is about freedom, your freedom. Okay, let's see what else. What else for the viewer, please, Spirit? Okay. Oops. And we have, I communicate clearly and honestly, making powerful connections with others. Gemini, Mercury, communication. This is about communication, written and verbally, and um, whatever you resonate with. This could be physical communication, mental communication with yourself, but this is predominantly how you're talking to somebody else, how you are communicating with somebody else, how you are expressing to somebody else, which whatever resonates for you, whatever is accessible, what feels okay for you. But that's being highlighted. So this could be something like just expressing what it is that you want in life, what you want to learn, what you want to do with your life, where you where you feel like things are at. This could be anything. However, this is resonating, this part here, but it's a time to be very conscious about communication and how other people speak to you. I feel I want to say as well. There's boundaries, but there's almost like there's freedom in boundaries here. Okay, let's see what else. Gratitude, we just had that here. Universal love shines through the miracles of life all around you. This is coming back to the basics. This is enjoying the moments. This is, I mean, this is the Stargate as well. Allowing that energy, it's almost like allowing the universal energy to come in and flow through you. There's a stuckness in the energy. There is a resistance or a stuckness. This new moon as well can sometimes bring up fears about the unknown, because we're in the mental. And when we step into the unknown, the mind feels very vulnerable. It feels threatened. Did we just have a flip there? The mind feels threatened, because the mind is all about the control. It's all about methodical thinking. It's about what we know to be true in the knowledge space. But then there's a wisdom that comes in from knowing what is true on an energetic level. And there's a marrying of that energy that's with this new moon, especially. But that's definitely coming through your pathway. It's like an intellectual, an academic intellectual, and a spiritual intellectual moving through of the energy, wherever this is resonating, whichever part of life this is resonating in for you. And we've got channel. You are a channel through which healing energy reaches the world. So some of you could be healers. Some of the education you're looking at could be healing. If you're looking at doing Reiki or spiritual healing, sound healing, music, creating paint, anything that you are thinking about that could be healing for another. And that doesn't have to be literally healing. That could be songwriting. It could be poems. It could be, especially with this, with the Gemini energy, it could be writing a book. Could be journaling, something in some way, something in the written. Could be a podcast. Could be anything. But you are a channel for healing, viewer. You're a channel for healing for others. But also, by taking a step in that direction, you're healing in your own self as well. Okay, is there anything else here? No, I think that was it, because we've got two here. Yes. We have Ram Perseverance. You have many gifts. No problem can withstand the power of your mind. With patience, you can reach your mountain top. And we had the mountain a couple of times. Never give up, and good luck will follow. Yeah, keep going, especially when it comes to what you're dreaming about, what it is you're looking to create, to do, to achieve, to step into. Perseverance is key. And we've got Raven Shaman. You are the creator and magician. I think we had magician energy coming up earlier. Use your gifts for good. There is power in your wisdom and words. Connect with the elemental spirits and glide through the void. Claim your place as keeper of the mysteries. This is the in between and now deciding to move through. So all of the energy this week, viewer, is supporting you to move through. This is about you being in this valiant courage energy, really being in this valiant courage energy and moving into what you want, moving, instead of having one foot in, one foot out, being fully in with the thing that it is that sets you on fire, that lights you up, that helps you shine, that really is connected with your intellectual stimulus, what makes you feel intellectually alive and inspired. Okay, viewer, I hope that you found messages of wisdom and guidance from Spirit in the reading today. And thank you for watching the reading as always with me. And I will catch you next time. Take care and happy new moon.